Peace and greetings, YouTube. It's Nurse J here, coming to you in the peace and quiet surroundings of my new used car, which I finally got. So if you had tuned in earlier, you have watched my walking to school videos, and you know that this car is a big deal. But anyway, this video is not about this car. This video is because I'm making this video because I was inspired to make it today. When I was in school, I overheard a group of younger black girls conversing with each other, and it really saddened me to hear how these girls view themselves and each other, and how these girls perceive their roles and relationships with men and in life. You know, they didn't exhibit a lot of confidence in their future. They didn't exhibit a lot of confidence in their abilities. They didn't exhibit a lot of drive. They just kind of seemed to take on an air of whatever happens to me in life is just going to happen, and there's not much I can do about it except for be as cool as possible and dress as funky and fresh as I can dress and get the cutest guys that I can get. So being, an older lady, I'm 31, in case you didn't know, I have come to use certain techniques and tips in my day-to-day life to help me to stay positive and strong and an overall happy individual and confident individual. And so I have just 3 easy steps of things you can apply in your life daily to be a more confident and happy young woman. And although the group of girls that inspired me to do this video were black, these tips apply to any race, any age, and any gender as well. My first tip is, don't be a complainer, be a doer. That doesn't mean that you don't have the right to voice when something is wrong, or to voice when you don't like, to voice a complaint. You have every right to voice complaint. I voice complaints all the time, but I try not to voice complaints, well, not all the time, but I don't have a problem with saying when something does not sit well with me, which in essence is a complaint. But I try not to complain without also offering a solution to my complaint, or if that solution rests with someone else to deliver, or without trying to put in action a solution myself if it rests on me to relieve myself of whatever it is that I'm complaining about. So basically what I'm saying is, if you're going to complain about something, do something about it as well. You'll feel better about yourself, because then you'll stop feeling like a victim. You'll stop feeling like, oh, this is just my life, and because I live in this area, or because these are my parents, or because this is my financial situation, or this is my background, these are just my circumstances. Do something about it. Go to school, or get a job, get 2 jobs, get 3 jobs, support yourself. Do something about changing your present situation if you don't like it. If you have no motivation whatsoever to do anything about your present situation, more than likely somewhere inside you, you're actually okay with it. And so if you're okay with it, then be okay with it. Stop complaining. Don't act like you're not okay with it and really be okay with it. And then people are waiting for you to change or shut up, and you just keep complaining. If you're okay with it, just don't complain. If you're going to complain, do something. My second tip is real simple. It's basically just stay positive and shun anything negative. And when I mean stay positive, I mean anything in your environment, the things you hear, the things you see, the things, obviously some of these things you can't control 100%, but to a large degree, you have a lot of control over what you let in your environment, who you surround yourself with. If you have friends who are Debbie Downers and constantly just seeing the negative side of things, they're pessimistic, then distance yourself from them, or recharge your positive battery, and then try to share some of your positive energy with them. But don't surround yourself with people who are doing nothing but heaping negativity onto you, because those things, it's my belief those things seep in a way. They get into you. The more things you say negative, the more things you think negative, the more things you hear and see negative, the more of your senses that are exposed to negativity, the much more easily it'll be for you to exhibit negative tendencies and to be a negative person. So be positive, not negative. Be positive. Speak positive things to yourself. Be your biggest cheerleader. Just be positive. Try to always see the glass half full. Try to think of the things that you have to be grateful for instead of the things that you have to complain about. When you are about to make a complaint, even if it's a legitimate complaint or legitimate negative statement, I'm getting my words jumbled over these soup coolers. Even if you're going to make a legitimate complaint or make a legitimate negative statement, try to follow it up with something positive. You know, this might be my situation, but it could be worse because it could be like such and such and such and such. Like, try to always keep in perspective that things are not as bad as we sometimes make ourselves believe they are. They're really not. If you're alive, relatively healthy, you can stand, walk, see, taste your food, you know, like you're living and you're basically all right, then things aren't as bad as they think. If you're not living on the streets or whatever, like, things could always be worse. You could be dead. Heck, you could be dead. All right, so the first thing was to don't be a complainer, be a doer. Second thing was be positive, not negative. And my last and final little tip, yes, I had to write them down because my memory is terrible. I think I should be on disability. I should be able to get a disability check just because my memory is so screwed up. Anyway, my third tip but it could be worse because I could have total amnesia by the second, not remember anything. So my memory is not as bad as it could be. Staying positive. Anyway, third tip is basically be kind to yourself. One thing I heard these girls doing a lot was downing themselves. And that's just something I don't understand because, in my opinion, that's what your enemies are for. That's what your enemies are for, and people who are jealous of you, and people who want things that you want and don't have your best intentions at heart. Enemies, basically. That's their job, is to down you and to try to take away your shine and try to throw shade on you, or however you want to put it. So don't be your own enemy. There are plenty of those in the world. Okay? You'll make enemies without even trying. So don't be your own enemy, for crying out loud. Be kind to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I have a beautiful smile. Or, you know what? My teeth are really white. Or I have a really clear complexion. Or I have a really soft voice. Or I'm really nice to people. Or I can really be funny. Or I'm really good at this. Or I'm really good at that. Compliment yourself. Even if those are the only compliments you hear all day, try to learn how to be content with loving yourself and being kind enough to yourself. If you love yourself enough, you'll get to a point where where you're not constantly seeking love and acceptance from other people. And then you'll truly be happy. You'll be a doer, you'll be positive, and you'll be kind to yourself. It's a perfect recipe for happiness. Follow those 3 simple steps, YouTube, and you'll be happy all your days, or at least most of your days. This is Nurse J. Don't forget to submit your questions via email or leave a comment at the bottom. And I'll see you next time.